Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Golf Race Fuels Racing Zone presented by Stone Ridge Specialty Insurance here at the Motorama Custom Car and Motorsports Expo. We're also streaming live on TrackTune. I'm joined now by Ken Mercer from SOMA, the Southern Ontario Modified Association, the Pro 4s. So we were chatting before about this series, and you said that there's a lot of aspects that sort of make it unique to others that we see here in the area. So what makes SOMA so special and unique?
Well, first of all, our club had probably about 4 or 5 years ago had really kind of disappeared, and with COVID at the time and car numbers down, we decided to try to put SOMA back together and try to get it going again, the Pro 4 club, and we needed to make it so it was so it fit the need, and the need was people that wanted to be involved in racing and didn't want to go spend a ton of money doing it, but they wanted to have fun. They had that burn in the bottom of their gut, and they wanted to race. And so we took all the rules and decided to have a look at how we can keep the cost down and keep the excitement and the fun up. And we did that by changing things like RPM rules. We did things like making it just more accessible coming into the club. And in our club, what we found was that there was people that were probably in that 50-plus group that maybe raced at one time and would like to get back into it, and they kind of thought, you know what, they just didn't feel comfortable getting into some of the bigger classes, and so we decided to make a class that was to fit that group, and so that's what we have. We have probably an average age in our group of about 56, 57-year-old people. We have younger people in there as well that we call moving up the ladder, and I guess at the other end we have some coming down the ladder that that raced very competitively at one time, and now they just want to go out on the track and have fun. They want to get out there and get the need for speed looked after, come out and have fun racing, good fellowship, good sportsmanship, good racing. And being an open wheel club, it brings itself to that. It isn't the bump and grind type of racing of some classes. It's driving, and it's about people that want to just go out and drive and enjoy it and have fun doing it. And I have in our group, I have a father. I have several father-sons that race together, not just one pitting for the other. They each have a car. I have a father, son, and grandson. We have 3 generations on the track. I have a husband and wife team. They each have a car. So it's a little bit different. It's about people that want to just go have fun racing. And every night after the races, if you come over to the pit area, you'll see a big barbecue going over there. Members all have a barbecue going. They usually get up Sunday morning and they have a big breakfast going. And it's about a family of people that enjoy racing. And that sort of was our philosophy at the very beginning, was how can we make this, competitive racing? And it is. You pull out on the track and nobody gives an inch or two. I've been racing. We started 5 years ago. I've won 2 races in 5 years. I just want you to know that. I was very excited.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I was very excited. Nobody gave me an inch anywhere on the track, but you know what? And that's what it's about. It's about that being competitive. It's about having fun, and that was the philosophy that we started with. It's the one that we're standing by. To have people come out and enjoy racing, and we're working really hard to make that happen.
It looks like Jim Bray's sort of interested in what you have here.
Jim Bray, what a great man. Jim Bray, he owns a business out of Brantford, Jim Bray Trailers, and you'll notice his booth just down the way from us here. Jim supplies our business and our company trailers. Jim is also a sponsor of Pro 4 Modified. He sponsors one of the young drivers in our class fully as a sponsor. He also sponsors the club itself, and he sponsors Riley Mercer Racing, which is dirt track at Oswego in the Crate Sprints. So let me tell you, Jimmy Bray.
Podium.
Yes,
first
and
podium.
he has his NASCAR team. Jimmy Bray, what a great name in racing, and a great supporter of everything we're involved in racing. That man is there every step of the way. We just love him. Yeah.
So I guess circling back here and you mentioned they're a good supporter of the club. We'll chat about some of the sponsors coming up, but you mentioned, the family atmosphere, and I guess the fact that you have grandparents and grandkids, they have both sides of the spectrum racing sort of speaks to that. And you mentioned the fact that the club was basically non-existent here around the pandemic time, so it's been like 5 seasons or so now. And how has it evolved over these last handful of years?
Well, let me tell you, the very first year we had 2 cars. When I started to put the club back together, I talked to a few of our drivers, and the cars were sitting in barns. And the one man, Mark Lucas, who drives the number 63 car, Mark Lucas said, "Hey, let's go have a race." And I said, "Well, we only got 2 cars, Mark." He said, "Yes, I know, but let's see if we can find a track." And I called around a few tracks, and not too many people were interested. But Gord Bennett out of Grand Bend, Gord says, bring him up, come on up, we'll put a race on, And I take my hat off to the man, I really do. So we went up there with 2 cars, and he shuffled us into his schedule, and we went out and had a race. And it was really kind of funny because I was so excited I won a race. There was only 2 of us, by the way. I won a race. And then
drag racing on an oval, essentially.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, that's right. So we did. So he won one race, and I won the other race. And I thought, oh my God, wow, that's great. And now I race with him on. We only race 8 races a year, and I have not beat him yet in a race. So I think he just let me win to make me feel good. That's Mark Lucas, by the way. So the second year we had about. Let me see. We had. 6 cars, 7 cars roughly, and it was growing. We were struggling to get our cars. We now have what I would call solid 14, 15 cars that come out to an event. Okay, we have about 22, 23 cars that we know of and that fit into our series, that fit into our club. You know what? And remember now that average age, and so people can't always make it, they're at doctor's appointments or whatever, so they don't always make it out to the races. And but we have that solid 14, 15 coming out to the track. We do our best to put on a good show for the people in the grandstands. We work hard to put a good race together. We've got great young new drivers coming in. We've got experienced drivers in there. I think of guys like Cliffy Hodgkinson, who's been around the Pro 4s for, I'm going to guess and say 25 years plus. He won points championship this year. Cliff did a great job, and real sportsman, real gentleman on and off the track. So, you know what, we've come a long way in 5 years, from 2 cars to a good solid 15 with 22, 23 cars that sit in our group. A lot of our new cars have come up out of Florida. There was a track down middle Florida that had closed, and with a little bit of help of different people, we've got some of those cars up on our track, and it's growing. And we have a couple of cars that are for sale if there's people thinking about getting in and joining that family and having fun with us. They contact me. I'll gladly help them out and redirect them wherever we need to.
And I know as well, too, you were saying earlier that simplified rules, so a way to sort of make it where it's not, it eases some of that burden. So what should people know about the rules?
Oh, it really does. You know what? We had a rule book that was probably, 15 pages long. And I always think about when I was a young man, I was traveling down through Pennsylvania, and I went to a track in Selinsgrove, Pennsylvania, and the sprint cars were running there, and I'd never seen them run before. And we got into the pits, and it was unbelievable. And I remember saying to the gentleman in there, I said, "What kind of rules you guys run down here?" And the guy with this southern accent goes, rules? He said, well, I have no rules. He said, we have rules, people would cheat. And I'm going to tell you, that stuck in my brain forever because it is so true, you know. Like, if you put a rule in that someone says you can only have this or that, someone will try to find that little bend in it. And so we have a set of rules. We took what we had, we went through them and kind of lightened them up a little bit. We made them a little bit more easier to read. We put in what was known as an equalization rule, that if people come out and blow everybody away, that we have ways to make it fair for them and make it fair for everybody else. We have a philosophy that we'd rather have one guy ticked off than 10 guys ticked off. We have a rule in there: if you're disrespectful to any of the flag people or the track officials or any of our officials, we have a rule in there that costs you $100. And you don't pay it to me. You have to pay $100 to Canadian Diabetes or Hospice or Cancer Society, and you have to show that. You have to show that you paid that. And just to let you know,
and you were the first offender.
I was the first one. I come in out of the pits, and I was so frustrated with one of our people, and I just happened to say the wrong thing, and they said, "That's going to cost you $100." And sure enough, it did. I paid the $100 to Hospice, and I kind of shut my mouth after that.
It's a good way to learn for sure, sort of like we see technical fouls in basketball, for instance. So I know for the club here for SOMA, they're based out of most of the races anyway are at Flamborough, but you do tour to other tracks too. So what should people know about the 2026 schedule, tracks, and dates?
Well, 2026 schedule, we have 5 races at Flamborough. We have one at Sauble Beach. We have 2 at Sauble Beach, and we have 1 at Varney this year. We've got a fun night coming up on July 18th. The fun night is the first race of that night. We're putting in totally new people into our cars, and our rookies are only racing that night. We have some guests that are coming in from that. The gentleman that owns Strode's out of Brantford, Brian Witteveen, says he's coming in to race. I've been talking with the Oswego people. We're trying to get some of their people to from the top group there to come down and take one of our cars. We have several people that said they'd like to drive one of our cars. If they leave us a car at the end of the night for the final race, we have a dash for cash for our regulars, and we're putting $1,000 on the table for that one. So I'm sure those guys that own their cars are hoping that these new rookies or new drivers
not too many cautions.
Well, and not too many cautions, and that they have something to drive. So it was a real toss-up on which race went first because we weren't sure where we'd have the most cars at the end. Yeah,
that'll be an interesting one for sure.
We have Memorial Cup 2 at Flamborough. That's August 1st. This is in memory of any of our past drivers that were with our club that have now passed away, and we're having a memorial night there. On June 27th at Flamborough, we have a VIP night. We rent the tower at Flamborough. Strode's barbecue is coming in and doing a big barbecue for all the food there. If you'd like to come to any of that, come and talk to me. I'm sure we can find you a ticket or two, and it's a fun night. We pay your way into the track. We feed you down there. It's a fun night. Flamborough on the 16th of May is open wheel night. It's only open wheel cars down there that night. The supers, I believe, are there. We're there. We're fortunate enough that they've invited us to be part of that. I'm sure we're part of the little show, but we're glad to be there. We've got Meet the Driver night. We've got our old home night. You know what? And after every race over in the pits, we have a big barbecue. Wander on over, say hello to our drivers. I'm sure there's a hamburger or something cooking there. You come over and say hello. There's something there.
All right, that sounds cool for sure. And I guess we got about a minute or so left. Where can people find out more about SOMA, and what are some of the sponsors you'd like to acknowledge?
Well, first of all, if you go online to a Facebook, we have a Facebook page. We also have a what are the other fancy pages that they have?
There's Instagram,
Yeah.
there's X.
Yeah, there's on there we have pages. You type in Pro 4 Modified Ontario, Southern Ontario Pro 4 Modified. We're there. Our main sponsors, we have a series sponsors, which is BCW Lumber out of Brantford. They sponsor the whole series, but new coming in this year for 2026, and we're excited to have them. Hearing Life Corporate is part of our sponsorship for 2026. Napa out of Brantford. Jim Bray Trailers, we just saw Jimmy there. Penn Car and Truck Rental out of Brantford. Strode's with the big barbecue, you're going to see them there. Tegs Tools and Gin Tech. Guys, these are the people that make it all work for us. I thank you.
Always good to support the sponsors that support racing for sure. Ken Mercer with SOMA Pro 4 Modifieds, thanks for speaking with me.
Thank you very, very much. Have a great day.